Now this video is gonna piss some people off, and I'm completely okay with that. I haven't done a video like this since my days of Dent Tools Freak. Some of you might remember Dent Tools Freak. It was brutally honest tool reviews, and the reason I stopped doing it is that, well, people were getting pissed. I normally would leave myself out of this kind of tool drama, but it got posted to Real World PDR Fan Nation on Facebook, so it became my problem. Also, I know all of the players very, very well. I know the backstory, and I have the largest collection of tools from every company involved. So while my Stanliner collection is pretty legendary, what you might also not know is that I have just about every tool Excalibur's ever made and every tool made by Dent Reaper, so I have a great basis for comparison. So here's the problem. These are the new Executioner tools from Dent Reaper and Excalibur. Here are some Stanliner tools. Now, the Stanliner Corporation feels like these are copied tools. I'm gonna show you why I don't believe that's the case. So again, I'd like to point out that I know all of these guys very well and I have a lot of respect for these guys. I would like to set the record straight because I have a lot of respect for them. So, John Vadine and Rick Hummer, that's Dent Reaper and Excalibur tools, did put together this Executioner set. But before we talk about that, we're gonna have to talk about a little bit of history. The misgivings between John Vadine and Stanliner started at the Minnesota Stanliner event. So, during that time, John visited and he was producing these. These are the Reaper rods. Now, these have a sharp side for pushing and a soft side for pushing. The soft side came about because a Stanliner representative who saw the prototype of these tools said that this would be helpful. It would take some of those Stanliner techniques and apply it to their tool. So the result was my 2020 Tool of the Year, and that were these Reaper rods. Now, what John did is he took some of these Stanliner techniques that, yes, do work, and created an altogether unique tool out of it. It's unlike anything else that I have, and I have one of the largest Stanliner collections in the United States. So yeah, while it does borrow some Stanliner concepts, it is moving the industry forward. It's an altogether unique tool. A comparable Stanliner tool might be something like the straight crane tool. So you can see the similarities. Yeah, there is a side for softer pushing on this and a side for straight pushing as well. This one also works great as a twister, but you can see here, this is a much larger swoop and a much more fine tip on it. As a matter of fact, I don't know any Stanliner tools that have a really sharp tip. So I really love the Reaper rod. I felt like it was a unique tool that did borrow from some of the Stanliner techniques, which you can't patent by the way, and it helped propel the industry forward. So whenever I think of a copied tool, I think of something that's an exact replica, probably made cheaper, and it doesn't improve upon any kind of design. Basically a money grab. But what I feel Dent Reaper did was take some ideas, apply them to a completely unique tool, and came up with the Reaper rod. The next company we're going to talk about is Rick Hummer and Excalibur. Excalibur is the maker of the hood and deck set, things like the screwdriver set. Excalibur's been making amazing tight access tools for a long time. Now, an interesting thing to note here is that both John Vadine and Rick Hummer have both been copied by the same manufacturer. Now, I'm not going to give that guy any publicity, but let's just leave it to say that it's a man who creates Dent tools. A man who creates Dent tools. I know some of you got a chuckle there. The most notable time to me that this man who creates Dent tools copied some tools was the Excalibur screwdriver set. He tried to get me to promote his version of the screwdriver set. It was basically a 100% knockoff that in fact was made a little bit wrong. So I know Rick Hummer and John Vadine very well, and I know neither of them enjoyed being copied, and I know neither of them would intentionally copy somebody else's tool. So that being said, let's look at the difference between the Stanliner tools and the new Executioner tools. So taking a look at the post from Stanliner, the three tools that they had were this straight crane, the pirate hook, and I believe they had this modified crane tool. Now, here's why they think that it's a copied tool. Now, let's take a look at this tool here. Now you have a soft side for pushing. You have this side for more direct, accurate work, and this also does work at a twister. The straight crane tool does, well, roughly the same stuff. They also included the pirate hook, this one, which was confusing to me because for the most part, What an average tech is going to use this tool for is removing crease dents. And as a matter of fact, this tool is really badass at removing crease dents. Now, you can also work different parts of the tool, of course, but the average tech is mostly going to use this for creases. All three of these tools are fairly wide diameter, and none of them would do the job that the Executioner tools do. The Executioner tools, yes, they do have a soft side and they do have a very, very sharp side, which none of the Stanliners have, by the way. But these are primarily twisting tools, being you twist them like so. Direct push, the metal's entirely too thin, it would flex. So even though all of these tools may have some kind of similar appearance, the fact of the matter is they're not really similar at all in the way that they function. So even just looking at the design of these Executioner tools, it's not hard to see where the design influences came from. Obviously, that has the same swoop as a lot of the Dent Reaper tools do. Now, if you look at these two side by side, here we have the Excalibur hood and deck set, and here we have the Executioner. The beauty of the Excalibur tight access tools is this. You can fit into very small places and get extremely deep with obscene leverage. Now, the swoop on the Executioner allows the same thing with the added benefit of a soft side and a sharp side. Now, the most similar Stanliner tool is going to be this straight crane. Now, while it does have a soft side and a blade side, I'm going to use this in more open panels because it can never snake its way into tight access areas like the new Executioners can. I have plenty of videos using this tool. Check them out here or at realworldpdr.com. So at the end of the day, what you end up with is a very, very unique tool that takes the tight access prowess of the Excalibur tools. You also get the versatility of the Dent Reaper tools, while maybe inspired by Stanliner, is completely unique from Stanliner. And the end result is this, the Executioner. Now, this isn't a full review of this tool, but I will say that I like them very much. Furthermore, it's entirely different than any Stanliner tool that I actually own. And I have one of the largest Stanliner collections in the United States. I still love my Stanliner tools. I feel like this was a mistake. I know during the workshops, both John Vadine and Rick Hummert have been very complimentary of Stanliner. I've appreciated support from all three companies. I hate tool copies, and I would in no way say that this is a copied tool. Now, the last grievance I have with the Stanliner post is the fact that they stopped doing business with A1. A1 has been wonderful to us, despite the fact that myself and the owners sometimes have personal differences. They help guys with ideas bring tools like this to us. They're very good at manufacturing and they're very good at distributing. Unfortunately, those are two problems that Stanliner has. They can't keep up with demand. I feel like A1 was an excellent partner for them. A1, if anybody's seeing this, I appreciate what you do. Keep it up. I hope this disagreement can get resolved between John Vadine, Rick Hummert, Thomas, Maria, all of you, and we can move on. I still support all the companies involved, but I felt like being that I own one of the largest Stanliner collections, one of the largest Excalibur collections, and one of the largest Dent Reaper collections, I know everybody personally, and I know the backstory. I felt like maybe it was my time to weigh in on this. Peace out, I'm done. So hopefully everybody seeing this can see that while the look may be a little similar, the functionality of these tools are entirely different. As a matter of fact, looking at them, the design elements from Dent Reaper and the design elements from Excalibur scream so loudly that without even knowing, you could tell that this is a collaboration between the two. They don't function similar to any Stanliner tool that I own. They're made of entirely different materials, and in no way can I say that this is a copy or plagiarized tool. This is the best that Excalibur has to offer combined with the best of Dent Reaper, and I would say that this kind of tool is moving our industry forward. In fact, in the same way that Stanliner tools did when they first came on the scene. So hopefully this clears up. This gives my opinion. I wanted to be respectful about this, but I did definitely want to point out that I feel that the Stanliner post that went around all of the PDR forums was a mistake. I'm very well aware that this is going to rub Stanliner the wrong way, but that doesn't change the fact that this is how I feel. Also, to reiterate, I still have a lot of respect for all four companies involved. I'll still be making purchases from each, and I surely hope that they can patch this over and move on. So thank you so much, Real World PDR family, for your support now and in the future, and I will see you on the next one.